Today, we're going to talk about ambition and the different stages of your life. Now, if you're one of those people who thinks that ambition is a dirty word and you think it's not worth talking about and it's an evil thing and it leads to bad things, and you don't need to watch this video. We're going to start off with a reminder as to what the different stages of life are. They are survival, stability or security, success, and significance. Okay. So the first one is survival. We're going to talk about what ambition looks like in that stage of your life so that, first of all, it can help you identify what stage of life you're in. But more importantly, it can give you an idea as to what you need to do to move to the next stage. All right. So in the survival stage, when it comes to ambition, you don't have much. You usually feel resentful and very intimidated by other people's advantages and success. I mean that. If you are on Instagram, if you are walking about your life, if you're looking at other people's homes and cars, and when you hear them share things, you have feelings of resentment for whatever reason. You could connect it to a political reason, you could connect it to some ideology, or deep down, you feel intimidated. You're just like, wow, like this person has it together. They could destroy me. They look beautiful. They have their stuff together. They look like they're traveling the world. And sometimes it can look like everyone's living like that, right? But it is all a reflection of your internal states. So you feel resentful and intimidated. But when you move from survival, that is hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck, rent to rent, invoice to invoice, that's the worst of all. If you've not lived invoice to invoice, you got to experience that one. When you move from survival to stability or to security, at this point, when it comes to ambition, there's some guilt, okay? You can feel guilt about having more success than some members of your family or some friends or members of your community, okay? This is very important to be aware of, because that guilt can not only hold you back, but it can sabotage you and it can lead you right back to survival. Okay. I used to have a lot of this. Once I started making a little bit of money, once I started moving up in life to nicer places, I felt like I owed other people money. I wanted to hide my lifestyle, even though it was just, I was secure, but from the places I came from, people would look at me and they were like, man, you're doing well. Like, they would ask to borrow money. My guilt, your guilt, they make you want to lend them money and help them. And anytime you see them suffering, you want to help them, but it is because of your guilt. You feel guilty and you have this survivor's guilt. Please be very careful of that, because sometimes these people can pull you down. And it's not that people in survival are bad. I was in survival as well. But it's just that we are trying to survive, right? We don't have space for a lot of compassion. We just want to eat. We want to make it to the next day and the next month. So we don't have time to process certain concepts. When I was in survival, I didn't feel guilty that somebody had to give up something to give me something. I just needed that money to make my rent. So I didn't care about things. I didn't care that I would ask for a refund on something, right? I'm not scratching because I'm like, oh, do anything that just the mosquitoes here are really, really eating me up, right? I didn't care. I was like, I'll get the refund. I'll do all these little things that were not in integrity, right? Now, when you move on from stability or security to success, what happens is you are at the place where you can start giving back, okay? So at this place, you're just like your ambition is like, I want to create more success so I can give back to people. So it's morphed from giving back out of guilt and giving what you actually can't afford to wanting to create something bigger. You're like, I want to build a business so that I can tithe to my church. I want to build a business so I can build a charity. I want to build a business so that I can influence politics and policies and I can lobby for certain things, right? Again, some of these things might not even make sense to you if you're in survival or you're in security. And that's okay. I hope you get to these points and you can understand these things, because I guarantee you, like all these things I'm talking about now, whenever I talk about success and I talk about the things that happen at significance, they were not relatable to me when I was at security and when I was at survival, right? but you want to create greater success so you can give back in your own way. Sometimes the giving back is a little bit more selfish, right? Sometimes you want to give back just to your family. You're like, hey, I want to retire mom. I want to retire dad. I want to take care of them, that sort of thing. And then finally, when you are at the stage of significance, when it comes to your ambition, this has a lot to do with your self-image. Your self-image has completely changed. You understand a very important concept, which is that your future is greater than your past. And this is going to sound very counterintuitive, okay? When I say that your future is greater than your past, it means that if you are 50 years old right now, or you're 40 years old right now, or you are 30 years old, you have more years and more capacity and more experience ahead of you than you did behind you. If you're 35 years old now, or 39 years old now, or 29, or 27, you have many years in front of you. Yeah, we know they're not guaranteed, blah, 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 blah. But you have many more years of experience. So you switch it. Instead of looking at your past as something that holds you back, you look at your past as this massive engine, right? That has given you all these experiences. And then you look at your future and you're like, oh my God, it is so big and I'm propelled by this engine. But the future is like this massive horizon in front of me. I can accomplish so much. It is so big. And that is where your focus goes. But another thing happens when it comes to ambition. You begin to want things simply because you want it. I'll say it again. You want things simply because you want them. There is no particular reason for it. You're not thinking of things because of the price. You're not thinking of things because of the impact on the environment. You literally say, I want to wear that outfit because I want it. I don't need to give anybody reasons. Why? Because you've worked through a lot of the issues that you have. I want to stay in that beautiful place. I want to buy those things. You give yourself permission to do those things because you've let go of all the conditioning that came from survival. You've let go of all the things that came with security. You have already built a success for yourself. You already give back. There is nothing else left. There's nothing else left except maybe spiritual enlightenment, which I recommend everybody pursue that, but that's up to you. But then when it comes to material things and things you want to do, you just do them and you don't care. And I think, people who are in survival or people who are in security will often look at people who are at the stage of significance and be very critical of them. Be critical of things that they do to the environment or their wastefulness or nobody needs that and nobody needs this. You will never understand till you actually get to that stage and you have that self-image and you've let go of a lot of things. One of the things that helped me was that when I was at the security and stability stage of my life, I started doing things because I wanted to, right? I was just like, I'm going to do this because I want to. It wasn't irresponsible. I just did it. And that completely changed my mind. I recommend that you do the same. Hope you found this helpful.